All right, let's have some fun. So today we're going to be talking about the three-step formula to secure over $250,000 in business credit in less than 6 months. We're actually going to be diving in and talking about how you can secure an unlimited amount of business credit for your business and get at least $250,000 in the first 6 months. Look, this isn't some theory, right? I'm going to actually dive in today and show you the proven formula that we've used to help 50,000 plus entrepreneurs successfully do this. And we've also guided hundreds of thousands of more of entrepreneurs over the last decade to be able to achieve this kind of success. How's it done? Well, let's dive in. Let's talk about exactly how you can get these kind of results for your business. So we're going to be diving in and talking about really a couple different things today. First of all, I'm going to show you how we've helped over 50,000 business owners successfully build business credit and get to hundreds of thousands. You're even going to see case studies today of clients that went from no hope to securing well over $1 million in business credit. So you can kind of swipe and deploy what they're doing to get that kind of success. And I'm also going to show you how you can get an unlimited amount of business credit to be able to grow your business. Now, I'm going to show this how this works for any business. So I don't care if you're a nonprofit or a for-profit, or if you're in a high-risk industry, if you're just getting started. None of those things matter. I'm going to show you a formula that works for every single type of business. Like literally, if you opened an entity tomorrow, the same formula would work for you as if you were open for 10 years now. So I'm going to show you how to do those things, how to be able to get the results, how to get $250,000, and also how to be able to unlock this unlimited potential of business credit. So look, first of all, let's address the elephant in the room per se. You probably tried to get capital, all the money you need. You probably tried to build business credit, and you more than likely are here because you haven't been successful. That's okay. You're going to hear from a lot of people during today's training that tried to do this and failed. And we're going to talk about why they failed and how you can succeed. So this isn't your fault. The reality is banks don't want you to know what we're going to be talking about today. As a matter of fact, they don't even allow the front-end bankers that talk about these things to you to even tell you why you're getting denied or tell you this recipe to actually have success with building business credit. The other problem we have is all these overnight gurus. And what I mean by overnight gurus is I mean people that throw content on TikTok or throw content on Instagram to be able to get likes and get engagement when they really don't have the experience or qualifications to talk about the kind of stuff they're talking about, right? So for example, I've been doing this a long time. I mean, I wrote the best-selling book on business credit 12 years ago. Think about 12 years ago. And a lot of people are popping up and realizing business credit term is hot. So they'll do a post, they'll do a training on it. It's not good information. And then you might go down that road and follow the steps and not have success. Well, that's not what we want to have happen. I want to show you what actually works today. So if you failed before, it's not your fault. We're going to break down these barriers that lenders and these gurus and these other people have put in your way so you can actually come in and succeed. Now, if you're just coming in, first of all, I know you're probably going to have comments and I will get to those. First of all, give me a shout out and just tell me where you're coming in from so I can give you a shout out, say hello. And I can also talk to you a little bit more about or mention even your business name during the stream. So give me a shout out, tell me where you're coming from, tell me what industry you're in, and we can talk a little bit more about how this works specifically for you as well. So let's get into some FTC results disclaimer, right? The FTC would want me to tell you some things about the type of things I'm saying are possible. First of all, you're not going to get $250,000 unless you're actually using the credit to grow your business. I see a lot of business owners make this mistake. They follow these steps just to follow the steps, and they never get high approval amounts because they're not getting the money, the credit, and actually using it. So you've got to be able to get these approvals that I'm going to show you that you're able to get and then use the credit. The using of that credit is what gets your future limits higher and higher and higher. Now, you ultimately decide in this game how much money you get based on how much money you apply for. Business credit's very unique like that. You don't get hurt for inquiries. You don't get hurt for applying for 10 credit cards at once. It doesn't hurt you in any which way or form. So if one person A only applies for 2 credit cards and person B applies for 10, well, then obviously person 2 is going to get a lot more money because they're applying for more credit. So remember, you ultimately control whether it's 50 grand, 250,000, $500,000 that you get because you're the one actually choosing to apply for the credit that's available. So how much you get really depends on that one factor, how much you're actually applying for, because this formula will open up the ability to get unlimited access to business credit. You are the only one that can then take action to actually secure those approvals. So the formula here is you got to get credit, you got to use the credit, and then you get higher and higher and higher limits, and then you repeat the process that we're going to talk about during this training. So what happens when you get it right? Here's a perfect example. I am going to have a lot of case studies today, but I'm not going to read them all to you. Some of them I will read because I think it's worth diving in. I think it's reflective of what the experience you may be going through now. And this is one of these cases. So this is Christine Farrell. She's from LaGrange, Indiana, Hoosier, like I'm a Hoosier. And let me read this to you. Quote, my husband, Brian, and I own field transportation. We decided to start a business because of the freedom it gives us. We don't have to worry about clocking in and out, and we can be financially free, go on amazing vacations without having to ask someone for permission. Now, 2 years ago, when we found Credit Suite, we were almost ready to shut down and say enough is enough. We can't do it anymore. Since then, we've got fuel cards, credit with most major retailers, cash credit, $185,000 in auto loans, equipment financing, and credit lines totaling over $1 million. At first, the money gave us the opportunity just to keep our company open. Okay, but since then, we've expanded from a 1-truck operation to buying a 50-truck operation, and we've been able to use business credit to open another company as well. We've been able to hire more drivers, pay the bills when it's comfortable for us. It's just given us more flexibility. Plus, it's given our company a better rating, and that's gotten us more customers. Credit Suite's a real deal. We're so appreciative of all they've done for us. So the reason I wanted to read this to you is that you may be able to relate to this, where you just feel like there's no hope. You know you can grow your business. You know you can grow it faster if you just have access to the money you need to do so. But you've tried and you failed. You've tried to get approvals. You've got denials. You don't get as much money as you want to get. You don't get the rates and terms that you want to get. And you probably struggled and be like, this is so frustrating. Enough is enough. How do you go from there to securing over $1 million of business credit? 50xing your business, opening more businesses. That is what happens when you just understand this formula. There's the same formula that big companies use to open up the floodgates of capital they get that you can follow as well. And once you understand this cheat code that they're using, then you can literally deploy it on multiple different businesses. You'll see a lot of case studies today of people that have done just that. And there is no limit to how much you can get besides your imagination and how much you actually want to apply for. So if we look at Christine, here's some of her approvals, $300,000 here. Here's her Dell approval. Here's all these accounts showing on our business credit reports. You can see $80,000 in available credit, like on all these individual lines. Here's a look at all the accounts showing on our business credit reports. Here's a truck. Hey, quote, our leases truck for the oil fields, all done on business credit. So yes, my driver family, keep up the grind, unquote. So she's even showing what she's using to buy the money. Here's land that they bought for a new business that they were actually launching. Again, more lines for $80,000, $40,000, $20,000 showing on our credit report. More credit showing for $80,000 on our credit report. This is the truck that she's using $185,000 in Ford financing to be able to buy. Okay, so this gives you an idea of what's actually possible when you get this formula nailed down. So who is this for? Who does this work for? Well, first of all, if you are a dreamer, if you are a doer, a rebel, a risk taker, a trailblazer, look, if you're just somebody that's crazy enough to follow your dreams, then you're going to find the formula to success today. Also, if you're a startup, or maybe you have credit issues, maybe you don't have collateral, maybe you have previous denials, maybe you have doubts about just being able to get approved, maybe you've been conditioned to think you can't get approved because you tried and you failed, or maybe you're looking for a small amount of money, $10,000, or maybe you're already established, maybe you have good credit, maybe you're looking for millions for expansion, you're looking to build an 80 Paydex score because you know the power that has when it comes to getting other kind of financing. Or maybe you just want to grow faster and you know you could do it if you just had the money that you needed to be able to do so. So if any of these things describe you, then we're going to be talking about something that will work specifically for you in your position to get to the next level, especially if you're using the money to grow like a legitimate company where you actually want to make a difference, right? We don't want to this isn't the right place for you if you're just going to try to go get a bunch of credit you don't have to pay back. It's possible. Realistically, it is, because I'm going to show you how to get credit without a personal guarantee, without a personal credit check that doesn't report on your personal credit report. But that doesn't mean we want to abuse it. This is meant for people that are going to responsibly use the money to be able to grow a business that's actually going to get out there and make a difference in people's lives, like actually change the people's lives that you serve. So my goals for today, how do you get unlimited access to capital? How do you just at will be able to go get the money that you need? We're going to decode that. Well, I also want to show you how to get the first $250,000 of that money in the first 6 months. Because if you have this, then you've got enough runway to probably do most of the things in your business that you really want to get out there and do. And then how do you get approved even if you think there's no way you can? Maybe you're an established business looking for $1 million SBA loan. You don't think it's possible. Or maybe you're just trying to get your feet wet, get your business launched, and looking for your 50 grand. How do you do it? Well, I'm going to show you how to get approved and get that money that you want, even if you don't think it's possible to be able to do so. So who am I? Well, my name is Crandall, okay? And if you don't know who I am, I've been in this game a long time, right? I've actually helped hundreds of thousands of entrepreneurs through this type of coaching succeed. And because of that, I've written the best book on business credit, the best-selling book on business credit. I'm featured in Forbes and Inc. and Entrepreneur and all of these different radio and news stations. Because what happens is like when something goes down in the business credit world, I'm seen as the authority that's brought in and talk about those things. And I don't tell you the stuff to brag or boast. Okay, anybody that knows me knows I'm super humble. The reason I'm telling you this is because I just want you to know I'm not somebody that just did this and it worked for me and I'm like, hey, here's how to do it. Like we've helped hundreds of thousands of people understand this concept and decode it before TikTok was around, before anybody was talking about it on Instagram. It used to be YouTube. All you'd ever find was our videos because we were the only ones teaching this stuff. So I'm very qualified to have this conversation with you. And none of this is about theory. It's all about what actually works. But that's not where I started. Okay, where I started was a dark, dark, dark place. You see, I opened a mortgage company and made it successful. And I put a lot of blood, sweat, tears, and late nights into building that to $1 million plus in revenue. And then what happened was the mortgage crisis occurred. And I witnessed firsthand what it's like to build a business, have something come out of left field you didn't expect, you didn't see coming, that completely wiped you out. And here's what's interesting. There was no COVID going on. There was no rescue money, okay? There was no money that was thrown in for PPP loans and all these other type of options that are out there that helped us navigate the crisis like we did with COVID, right? So as a result of that, I did what a lot of entrepreneurs do. I personally guaranteed the money in my business. Now, I just started my business because I wanted to spend more time with my kids. Realistically, I just wanted to go to their sporting events. I wanted to travel the world with them and do all kinds of fun, cool, unique things. But then I went through building a business and closing it off, not being able to pay rent, shutting down my office, having to lose my having to let my employees go after using my personal funds to try to keep them employed. Okay. I went through the process of having multiple different foreclosures, my cars legitimately repossessed. The lowest point, I'm literally sitting on my driveway with my back against my garage door, trying to pass bad checks to the electric company just because I needed my electric to get turned on because my then pregnant wife was coming home. And, Florida's not the place you want to not have air conditioning when you're pregnant in the middle of the summer, right? And I'll remember that, going through business checkbook, of business accounts that were closed after checkbook, just trying to pass bad checks, just trying to get my power turned back on, which ultimately my father-in-law, I had to borrow money from him even to do so. Talk about ridiculously embarrassing. And then after that, I decided that I wanted to recover. I wanted to start a consumer credit business. I even paid a bankruptcy attorney thousands of dollars, got all their documents together. Okay, my credit was horrible. I had no money in the bank. The banks literally took all the money that was there. So what happened was, like Bank of America, for example, I had a business credit line. I personally guaranteed. I defaulted. They got a judgment. They came and cleaned out all of my accounts with them. One day there was money. One day it was negative because all my checks tried to clear. They all bounced because Bank of America just literally removed every cent that I had in my accounts. So one of the worst financial places you could be. And then I started a consumer credit business. Probably not the smartest idea, right? So now I'm launching a high-risk industry business with no money to my name and horrible credit. And I'm trying to figure out how to fund my way through it. And this is where I went through this process of discovering what I'm going to teach you today, how to build business credit for myself, how to save myself. And as it started to work, that is when I eventually got to a point where I started helping other people and have now built an 8-figure business doing so, coming from near bankruptcy, foreclosures, repossession, horrible credit, negative bank account balances to an 8-figure business doing this because business credit helped me do it. And so now I get that life that I've always wanted, right? Like this is my kids and I, this is what we do. We travel the world looking for like the coolest water parks. Like literally we leave Sunday to go back on our journey, right? We're going to Belize, we're going to Honduras, we're going to, I don't even know, Cozumel, multiple locations. All we like to do is go out whenever they have a break of any kind and go have fun. And I get to go to all their sporting events. I finally got to the reason, the goal of why I started my business to begin with. And it's why I'm so passionate about business credit, because it took me from financial disaster to the life that I always wanted to have, the same as it can do for you. It's just about understanding the actual formula to be able to succeed. And that is exactly what we're going to dive into. So what I want to do is show you, after 12 plus years, that I discovered the hard way to do what I'm going to teach you the easy way to do. Okay. And now I want to actually reveal like what works so you don't have to struggle, right? So if you've been struggling, the reason is because all these forces are against you. Nobody's giving you the right information. Gurus have it wrong. Bankers won't reveal it. So it's not on you that you failed. You just need the right path. And that's exactly what I want to put you on today. So this is probably the second and only other case study I'm going to read, because when you understand this, you understand how it all will work, how you can put these 3 secrets I'm about to reveal to you to work, and the end result that happens when you actually do. I'll show you a lot of other case studies. Might skim last one I'm probably going to read today. So this is Josh Elledge from Orlando, Florida. Quote, "One thing that's beautiful about Credit Suite is you start with baby steps. The first thing we did is get a couple of revolving credit cards and store credit. Then we graduated to gas cards. Then we ended up getting a very nice line of credit at Amazon. Then we worked our way up to getting a very, very nice SBA loan. Thanks to Credit Suite, we were really able to get our business finances in order from what looks good to potential lenders and potential creditors, and we became very attractive to lenders. The best options are always available to those that have their credit game locked down, and that's what the Credit Suite platform allows you to do. We've been able to make smart investments in staffing, marketing systems, sales systems, product development, all these things before Credit Suite we just really couldn't do. I just don't have to stress out as much because we have money in the bank to take advantage of opportunities. I'm not stressed anymore. I can keep a bank account that has plenty of cushion in it, and that cushion just honestly makes me a better dad, makes me a better husband because I'm not stressed out. This means a lot to me because I understand. I don't know about you, but I have been face to face with my kids talking to me, and my mind, I'm not even there. Like, I'm mentally trying to figure out how to pay payroll. And it's embarrassing where my kids will say, "Dad, what do you think?" And I'm like, catch me up to speed. What was it you just said to me for the last 5 minutes? I mean, literally, I've not been present. Then I have times like I'm going to experience on Sunday where I'm legit out of here. I'm leaving the country for a week with my kids. I'm not worried about the company. The company has money. It's stable. It's good. I got money in the bank account. It's not going to fall apart while I'm gone. Right. And so I've lived those two worlds, and living in a world of freedom is way more rewarding than the stress and grind where you're just trying to survive. But here's what's interesting. If we look at Josh's story, Josh comes in, struggles to get money, and then he starts to figure it out. He starts to build business credit. He starts to talk about how he's getting lines of credit. He's getting Amazon. He's getting fuel cards. He's getting store credit, right? Then he's improving what looks good to lenders from their perspective. Then the result of this is now he gets an SBA loan. Now, he's being humble here, but I'll tell you Josh's story. 13 companies he's owned, 12 failed. 12 of 13 companies Josh built failed. This one went to the moon, multi-million dollars within the first couple years. Why? Because he was struggling. He was in the PR industry. It wasn't going well for him. He got an influx of cash by following the process I'm going to show you. Then all of a sudden he pivoted. He moved and he found this little loophole in LinkedIn that allowed him to build an entire marketing system in LinkedIn. He pivoted from PR to doing this for clients and started making substantial amounts of money. And it gave him the financial freedom that he needed. Look, here's the statistics. More than half of businesses fail in the first 5 years. 85% of failures are due to the same reason. Cash flow issues. Like, business owners don't have the money they need to survive. It's why they go out of business. But here's the other side of it. When you give business owners the capital they need, not just to survive but thrive, then they're able to figure stuff out. What? Imagine that, right? As entrepreneurs, if we have enough runway and capital, we figure it out like Josh did. And then all of a sudden he figures it out and boom, to the moon, right? Now he builds a multi-million-dollar business, and now he has all these cool things that he talks about. Now he's able to get his staffing in line, his marketing systems, and be able to sales system and product development. He's able to do the stuff that's needed to build a multi-7-figure business. It's just a matter of having the capital. And that's how we think of things at Credit Suite. We are maybe naive enough to think that you are going to crush it in this world and have a massively successful business if you have enough capital to give you the runway you need to succeed. Okay. And Josh and so many others, Christine, so many others before have done this. We've seen it. We've seen people go from a tow truck operation to an 8 tow truck operation. We've seen people quadruple, 10x their businesses. We've seen doctors on the brink of failure shutting down their doors and opening a second office, a second practice. And it all comes down to one thing and one thing only. They had access to the money. If they had access to the money, they did it the same as I think you can too if you have access to the capital. So what's the hard way, the way not to do it, the way I personally did it for 12 years? You go to a bank and you hope to get approved. You apply for credit cards and you pray that you'll be able to get approved. You get lost with million-plus loan options when you try to Google how to get a business loan. You get turned down again and again, and you really have no idea why you're getting denied, so the cycle continues. You have no idea how to get approved. You fail to get the money because lenders don't want to lend to you. Nobody believes in your ability to succeed. You feel like you're in an island. The people around you, especially lenders and credit issuers, don't have the faith that you can build what you know you can build, right? Okay, this is the way I lived for 12 years, trying to struggle to get the money until I was able to figure out what they wanted to see, figure out how to get them to have faith in me, figure out how to get them to not just want to lend to me, but literally chase me and hunt me down as their target of people that they wanted to give money to. That's what happens when you understand this 3-step formula. And that's exactly what I'm going to show you how to do over the next 90 minutes. So here are the 3 secrets to success. The first is called the Fundability framework. See, first of all, we have to understand why we get denied and stop the nonsense, stop the madness. The reality is, if we can't control this, then we continue to get denied, and then we continue to get frustrated and we quit. But we can turn the tides completely, stop denials, and literally get lenders to pursue us. Because what happens is we become the target that they want to lend to. They're hunting us. We're not hunting them. It's all in the Fundability framework. It's the first one I'm going to reveal. Then we got to move on. Now it's time to start getting approvals, and that's done through the business credit framework. And this is basically how we're going to use the exact same step-by-step blueprint that every single one of the largest publicly and privately owned companies has used to get business credit. And we're not going to just get some. We're going to get an unlimited amount like they have, so we can grow at will at our own pace. And the third thing is, it's just not enough to get business credit. We need loans. We need credit lines. So this is going to be in this third secret, which is called funding fortunes. This is how we use business credit to access the lending we want, the funding we want, the loans, the credit lines. Basically, we tee this up so it's funding on demand. Here's what I mean by that. It doesn't help me to get money from a bank when it's convenient for them to give it to me. Okay, I don't want to build a $5 million business and then them go, okay, you did it. Here's your money. Well, thanks. Where were you when I was there struggling in the beginning? What I need is funding on demand. I need the money I need when I need it. And that's what funding fortune is. I'm going to show you how to do that during this training as well. So let's dive into the first one. Fundability framework. Let me tell you how I figured this out. Her name is Megan Christensen. Here I am in the credit repair business, completely broke. Bank has cleaned out my bank account. It's negative. I'm selling my assets just to survive. House foreclosed, have to move, cars repossessed. A father-in-law's got to literally buy a car for the family because I don't have the credit or money to be able to do so. As bad as it gets. And I'm trying to start in the credit repair business. About as much risk as you can have against you. Right? And so then I keep applying and trying to get business credit and get denied. And it doesn't surprise me because my credit's bad. I don't have any cash flow yet. I'm in a high-risk industry. Then I met this banker, actually not just a banker, the top banker in the country for Wells Fargo Bank. And she says to me, I tell her my story, and she goes, you know, you're not getting denied because of your credit or your revenue or your industry, even for that matter. And then she just stopped talking. I was like, what are you talking about? Of course it is. I'm trying to get credit cards. My credit is bad. All these things are against me. She goes, no, that's not it. She goes, well, the reason at banks that we turn people down rarely has to do with that. Most people never even make it to that stuff. It's because your business isn't set up where you're credible. You're not fundable. And she started to walk me through and teach me this theory. And I was like, that doesn't even sound right. That sounds like too good to be true almost. But I started doing what she said. I went through and structured my business the way she described it. And then I started to go back and apply for the same credit cards I'd previously been denied. And surprisingly, I started to get approved and approved again and again and again. I started to get more and more approvals once I realized that I didn't even meet the bank's basic credibility requirements to be able to get money. And this is what lenders call as fundability. So the very first step of this, you have to understand what lenders really want. And what they really want is they want a credible applicant. They don't want to lend to somebody that doesn't look legitimate. So let me give you like an example here, right? If I'm trying to go get credit cards and loans and credit lines, and I'm using my home address, maybe a mobile phone or a house phone as my phone number. I don't have a good website. My email is like a Gmail address. I don't have a license. I might not be using I might not have a business bank account. I might be using my personal bank account, right? These things don't make me look professional. Now, more than likely, all of those things aren't you, but some of them probably are. You probably maybe don't have a business license. You may be using a Gmail address or not have a professional website. But what happens from a lender's perspective is their computers are looking for all of these things. And when you have a Gmail, red flag. When you have a home address, red flag. When you have no license, red flag. It's just red flag, red flag, red flag. And even some of those will get you denied. The more of them you have, you get denied. So the point is, you have to understand that what lenders are first looking for is just a fundable or credible business. Now, Bankrate here says, quote, the number one thing you can do to secure the best loan is to make sure your business looks like a low-risk borrower to lenders. Bankrate has it figured out. You've got to control the perception that lenders and credit issuers have. If they're denying you, they don't like you. Why don't they like you? Look at yourself honestly and objectively. Do you have your business set up where you are super credible? Are you using a sole proprietorship or using a corporation? Corporation, obviously way more credible than a sole proprietorship, right? Now, if we continue on, Entrepreneur calls this exact same thing credibility currency, right? How do you get more money? For Entrepreneur, have credibility currency. Like, be credible. And then when you have that kind of currency, then lenders and credit issuers want to lend to you. Forbes has it figured out, quote, why would one industry qualify for more overall funding than another? Well, lenders consider businesses with some industries to be less risky and more likely to repay the debts. Think about that. Forbes is talking about one of 125 fundability factors. If you look like you're high risk, then of course you're going to be harder to get money, right? Of course you're going to get worse terms than the person that looks low risk. So if you want to get more money and better terms, then look like you are a lower risk to lenders and credit issuers. And the first step is to know what they're looking for. And the second is we got to fix all that stuff. It's not a lot of work. And the reality is when you do it one time, you're good. Go online, do a Google search for your business. Does everything you see match up, right? Does it show different addresses and different phone numbers and different spellings of your name? Or is it all exactly the same everywhere you go? Lenders are looking at. Lenders deny most applications because they think it's fraudulent. Because when their little crawlers go online and look for your business, what they're finding is a bunch of mismatched information. Then their computers come back and go, I don't know, I don't even know if this person's a real company or not. We found them online, but the spelling of the names here is different than here, and the address is different here, and the phone number is different than here. Most business owners do this. See, most business owners go set up their entity with the Secretary of State, then they get an address, then they get a phone number, then they get an email, then they get a website, then they never even go back and update that entity. Most don't even look at their business credit reports to see if the reporting agencies have a bunch of wrong information on there. Most business owners don't even know what their own industry code is. I'll show you. Right now, if you know what your NIAX code, your actual industry code is, type it into the chat right now. I want to see how many of you know what industry you're actually in. Don't say something to me like you're in real estate. There's 100 subcategories in real estate. Don't tell me you're in trucking. There's 30 subcategories of trucking. I want to know what your actual NAICS code is. What is the industry identifier that lenders use and that you use and the IRS uses and everybody uses to know what industry you're in? Okay. And again, I don't see any comments in the chat come in because, okay, here we go. Ricky's got it. 492-100. Ricky, good job. Sandra, 541-611. Business Administration Management. You get it? You see, here's the difference. You're applying and trying to get approved over Sandra, over Ricky, over Garrett, 5'11", 210. They know the answer to that, but most of you don't. This is why you got to structure your business the right way. You have to know, like Garrett does, like Sandra does. You have to know what industry you're in, like Ricky is. You have to know what industry you're in. You have to set up your business where it looks credible. Every line item on an application needs to reflect that you are a legitimate and credible business. And the next thing you need to do, you got to get the credit reports that lenders and credit issuers use to have all kinds of information about you that you don't even know they have. Let me tell you what happened to me. Okay, I'll give you 2 examples. Went to get an SBA loan. They say, have you ever been convicted of a misdemeanor or a felony? I'm like, no, I haven't. I'm a pretty straight shooter. And then they come back to me and said, sorry, we found multiple misdemeanors you've been convicted of. Why would you lie to us? You need to explain these and explain why you lied. I swear to you, without exaggeration, I pulled a personal background check on myself because I didn't even know what they were talking about. And sure enough, I was like 20 years old. There was an attractive police officer in the town I was stationed in the military, and I'm popping wheelies on a motorcycle, legitimately trying to get her to pull me over to try to get her phone number. Was it smart? I was 20 years old. It was one of the many dumb things I did as a kid. I'm sure, hopefully, you can relate. I'm not the only one out there doing tremendously stupid stuff. But here I am now, and I'm actually trying to get an SBA loan, and it's coming back 20 years later to bite me, right? So then I had to write letters and explain it. So this stuff all came up on my LexisNexis credit report. The second thing, they wanted to collateralize my home. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. I have enough account receivables for you not to do that. Well, the problem was that I actually had judgments on my LexisNexis credit report that weren't even accurate. They weren't even mine. They don't show in TransUnion. They don't show in Equifax. They don't show in Experian. But they're pulling a secret credit report that shows them. And now all of a sudden, I've got to prove that those judgments weren't even real. I did. They removed the stipulation of collateralizing my home. Think about that. They pull a credit report that I know nothing about. They pull up things that I did 20 years ago that I didn't think anybody knew. I didn't even remember doing them. And at the same time, they're pulling up misinformation about me and making crucial decisions about me based on bad information that I didn't even know they had access to. That's the danger of these credit reports. Check systems that shows your whole banking history. LexisNexis that shows your entire life history of everything you've done, where you've lived, the addresses you've had, every insurance policy you've ever had. I mean, everything about your entire life is there. So you've got to get access to these reports like check systems, like LexisNexis, and you have to control that data. You have to make sure that it's reflective as you want it to be of what you want lenders and credit issuers to see. Now, once you've done this, now you've come in and you built that fundability framework the right way. Now you can apply with confidence. And you see multiple clients are saying, hey, look at all my credit reports. Here's my wallet of credit cards I'm able to get. And this is Amex in the middle, Amex, Navy Federal Credit Union, a Capital One, Navy Federal Credit Union, Navy Federal Credit Union, Amex, Discover. I mean, these are high limit, cards that you can legitimately use to fund your business, even if you never had loans or credit lines. So this is the outcome that happens when you understand that lenders care about fundability. You structure your business the right way where you look credible. Now we can stop denials. Now we can move forward with confidence, knowing that we can start getting automated approvals and even meet lenders' criteria so they start chasing us and we stop having to chase them. Now, this took a lot of time to figure out, okay? A lot of conferences here, okay? And I gotta be honest with you, it's kind of give me an advantage being Credit Suite, because before Credit Suisse went awry and got bankrupt and did all that stuff, people kind of think I was Credit Suisse. So I slid into a lot of these lender conferences, and sometimes they even put me on stage with nothing but other bankers. It was kind of funny because I would be up there revealing what these bankers didn't want loan brokers to know. They all thought I was a banker, which is why they're putting me on stage. So I had to go to so many of these conferences, sliding into these banking conferences, the most boring stuff you'd ever learn in your life, literally memorizing SBA underwriting guidelines. I mean, it's really lame, boring stuff. I remember when the PPP came out. I spent the entire night reading the entire bill. Have you ever read a government bill? It's trying to stay awake. It's not an easy thing to do. So a lot of education has gone into figuring out what these people are really looking for. And that's all what this 125-point fundability formula does. I've given you a lot of the foundational stuff, but it's actually teaching you exactly what they look for. And then you can meet their criteria to actually apply. Now, here's a case study. And guys, I told you, promise, I'm not going to read a lot of these to you. But here's the samples, and they're a perfect example. They came in, they tried to get an Amex credit card, and they got denied. They went to their bank to get a loan, they got denied. Then we taught them fundability formula. They only made one change. They updated their Secretary of State record to be accurate. That was the only change that they made. Then they went back to Amex and got a no limit account, and they got $96,000 plus in the initial month and a half after in business credit cards, right? So they went from denial to approval because it just fixed one thing. And that's the way fundability works. Once you look credible to lenders and credit issuers, then you start getting these automated approvals. Here's another one for Herman Dulce. Hey, my favorite line of credit I got using Credit Suite's a $10,000 Amazon card I used to purchase things low and sell high on different marketplaces. I was able to get a $40,000 Amex credit card. None of these show on my personal credit report, so if I max them out, it doesn't hurt me personally. So I was able to purchase 2 properties in Cleveland, Ohio. Herman Dulce, if you still search YouTube now, you'll still see he's one of the biggest discussers and gurus of business credit, like I am, right? Why? Because I brought him in and we showed him how it works. And now all of a sudden he's able to get all this money, build multiple businesses doing so. And as a result of all of that, okay, he's had this very, very, very prosperous success. It's just a matter of figuring out why they're getting denied like he did and then actually turning around. And by the way, it works for every industry. It doesn't matter if you're in transportation, real estate, financial services, nonprofit, hospitality, restaurants. It doesn't matter the industry you're in. These are the universal factors that will get you denied that once corrected, you can start getting approvals instead of denials. Okay, and here's just a look at $20,000 approval limit. Here's somebody on the left. I don't know if you could see this, so I zoom in. Hey, thank you for your interest in financing through Coggin, Ford, and Ford Credit Commercial Financing Services. We are excited about the opportunity to service your business needs. Due to your business profile and credit, we are pleased to offer you a pre-approval of $350,000 for your vehicle financing needs. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever been approved for $350,000 in auto financing without a personal guarantee, without a personal credit check? What do you think Willie did? Well, he said it. Hey, Turo, here I come. He literally went in to get a vehicle for himself. And with this, he literally launched an entire Turo business renting cars, okay, as a result of him getting one approval. So it goes to show the power of once you figure this stuff out. And that's how we make your business more fundable. That's how we stop denials. That's how we get automated approvals, and we actually have lenders chase you. Now, once we get that done, let's move to secret 2, which is the business credit building blueprint. Now, this is how we use the exact same step-by-step blueprint that all large companies use to get unlimited business credit. Let me tell you what happened. This is what happened with me. Once Megan showed me how Fundability worked, I started to apply for business credit cards, and I started to get approved. And then I got denied, and I got some approvals, and I got some denials. But I kept running into the cycle of approvals and denials, and I didn't know what was causing the denials because my Fundability was fixed. So I applied for a Staples credit card, and I got denied, and I knew it. If you look at Staples' application, it says you must be in business for 3 years and have $1 million in revenue to get approved. I'm a credit repair company, 3 months in business, and like maybe negative revenue at the time. Like, I mean, I did not have much money. So of course I know why I got denied. I didn't meet their criteria, but I called them to act dumb. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know what happened. You must have made a mistake because I got denied, and I don't know why you would have denied me. And the guy said something on the phone I'll never forget as long as I live. He actually said to me, he goes, well, we looked and we couldn't find any kind of business credit reports for you. And I was stunned because I expected him just to say your revenue, hey, moron, can't you read? Your revenue and your credit doesn't meet our criteria. Or your revenue and your time in business doesn't meet our criteria. That's not what he said at all. He said, this stuff on my business credit report didn't exist. And I said, well, yeah, it does. I have a DUNS number. Did you pull my DUNS number? He said, no. And he said, here's my DUNS number. He said, give me a minute. He went off. He came back about 2 minutes later. He said, okay, you're approved. You'll get your card in the mail. And then went through the whole thing that they go through when they approve you for a credit card. And I hung up the phone and I was like, I don't even understand what just happened there. I applied for a credit card that said that I needed $1 million in business and 3 years time in business, or $1 million in revenue, 3 years time in business. I had neither. I called them. They said the reason I was denied had nothing to do with that. I gave them my DUNS number and they just approved me. I said, that can't be right. So then I applied for Office Depot because I was running the credit repair business. So I needed paper and printers and all that stuff. And Office Depot denied me. And I called them and said, oh my gosh, I got denied. I don't know why. And they said, well, you don't have enough on your business credit reports. Now, I already knew they had them now because I gave my DUNS number. After that first denial, every time I apply for anything, I give them my DUNS number, even if they don't ask for it. And I said, did you pull my business credit reports? They said, yes, we did. And you don't have enough accounts ready yet on your reports to be able to get approved. I said, okay, thank you. And I don't remember how many accounts they told me I needed, but it changed my life forever because what I realized there is the most valuable lesson I'm going to teach you today. Business credit approvals are controlled by one main factor: how many accounts you have on your business credit reports. I invented this. It's called the tiering system. And the tiering system tiers how many accounts you need to have to get a grouping of accounts. So I got Staples because I had like 4 accounts on my business credit reports. That was enough to get Staples. But I couldn't get the Office Depot because Office Depot needed 7. But when I got 7 accounts on my business credit reports, Office Depot approved me. And when I had 12 accounts, Dell approved me. So it's the whole system is controlled based on how many accounts you have on your reports. The more accounts we add, the more approvals you get. And this was my experience to be able to figure this out. You see, here's what happens. In the business credit world, you will be giving a failing credit score if you have no credit at all. It's unlike consumer credit. In consumer credit, I got to kind of screw up, right? I got to pay stuff late. I got to do stuff to make my credit bad. In the business world, you inherit bad credit the minute they know you exist and you have no credit on your reports. Here's an example. This is somebody that has a very, very, very high financial stability risk score, meaning they're very, very, very high risk, almost on the brink of failure. Now, this score, and you can read this right here to see it, the financial stability risk score literally depicts your risk of going bankrupt, shutting your doors, ceasing operations. You failed. You're done. Toast, forking you over. That's what this score looks at. You have somebody here that has no accounts on their business credit reports. Look, zeros across the board. There's nothing on their business credit reports, but yet here they are. You're looking at about a higher risk as you can look of failure because they have nothing on the credit reports. But here's what's interesting. It only takes one account being added to the business credit report to turn it around. So now we see somebody with very low risk, right? And look at this, by the way. That business that had the horrible scores, look at the factor lowering the score. Lack of active trades. It's saying you don't have anything on your credit reports. That's why you're so high risk. Now we have somebody that added one account, and I'll tell you which account this was later. Now they go from low risk or high risk to very low risk. I mean, from over here all the way to here. Look at what happened. Factors lowering their score. Average age of commercial accounts. So now no longer is their score bad because that they have no credit. Now they just need to add more or have more age on their accounts. So this is what happens. And by the way, they added one account to the business credit report and spent less than $100. And look what it did to them. It took them from low score, high risk, to high score, low risk, because they added one account to the business credit reports. How crazy is that, right? And then here's what's even more interesting, and here's to my point. The more accounts that you add to the business credit reports, the better it gets. Look at this, credit limit recommendation. The Bureau is telling the lender and credit issuer how much money to lend to you. So if you've never been lent the amount of money that you think you need or deserve to have, I'm going to show you why right now. Here's that first credit report we looked at. No credit. Recommendation, $1,000. Somebody added one account to the business credit report. Credit limit recommendation, $2,500. 2.5 times higher because they added one account to the business credit reports. Check this out. This person has a recommendation of $7,000. They have 2 accounts to the business credit reports. This person is being recommended for about $16,000 in funding. 1, 2, 3 accounts to the business credit reports. This person is being recommended for about $66,000 in funding. 1, 2, 3. Little one tied down here on the second page. 4 accounts of the business credit reports. And here is the epitome of it all. $724,000 credit limit recommendation with about like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 accounts in the business credit reports. What I found helping tens of thousands of people through this report process, looking at 10,000 plus business credit reports in my life, is very simple. The more accounts you add to your business credit reports, the more the recommendation of credit gets higher and higher. The higher your limits, the higher the loan approvals, the higher your credit lines. It all comes down to this formula. See, your success with getting lending all ties to your business credit reports because the business bureaus are telling lenders how much money to actually lend you. So the first step of this is we've got to get immediate credit. These are through starter vendors. These are through Murphy USA. These are through Uline. These are through Granger. These vendors that will give you credit when you have no other credit. And that credit they're giving you reports to the business credit reporting agencies. Now we use the credit, we pay the bill. Next, we monitor the business credit reports. Very hard to do right now. Admittingly, very hard to do. If you're doing this on your own, I have no real solution for you. NAV no longer has tri-merge credit reports. They only have Equifax data, which is not even accurate and up to date, and Experian. So if you want your Equifax, Experian, and Dun & Bradstreet, you have to go to Dun & Bradstreet, spend $200 a month. You got to go to Experian. You got to go to Equifax. Your credit reports alone could cost you $100 a month. Our clients have access to actual lender reports. I can't give them to anybody that's not a client. It's not my fault. It's just the relationship we have with our report provider. So again, it's tough to do, but you got to keep an eye on your business credit reports because now once these accounts you paid for, you need to see them show on the credit reports. The final step is now we move to start getting retail credit, fleet credit. What this means is it means now we can start to get credit. And by the way, this is 30 days into the process. We got starter vendors. We fixed our fundability week 1. We started to apply and get approvals week 1. We paid the bill. We wait for them to report 30 days, 1 month in. Now we've got accounts on our business credit reports. We've got credit profiles. We have credit scores. Now we use those to springboard off of to get to the next tier. The next tier of credit, we start to get retail credit. We start to get fleet credit. These are fuel cards at every major fuel station in the country. These is credit cards at every major retailer. AT&T for phone services, Dell, HP, Apple for phones, Best Buy for computer or for computer services. We've got Best Buy for electronics. We've got Apple, or we've got Office Depot, Staples, Costco, Nordstrom, Macy's. I mean, department stores. Almost all of these retailers offer corporate credit. Now, at this point, the credit card does not require a personal guarantee. I'm not personally liable for the business debt. It does not require personal credit checks. There's no inquiry on my personal credit. There's no personal credit checks that are taking place. My personal credit has zero to do with approvals, none, because they're not pulling my personal credit. They're pulling my business credit, seeing that it's established, and approving me. So that's the next step. And then the next step is we move to universal credit, auto financing as well. Now we move to Visa card, MasterCard, American Express. Now we move to auto financing, like that $350,000 approval I showed you at Ford. Another $185,000 in financing Christine got, right? We've already seen 2 case studies where they literally got hundreds of thousands in auto financing. And none of that required a personal guarantee or a personal credit check. So what you had to do is you had to use it, take years to get approved and apply and kept getting denied and make some progress, get more denials. Guess who will approve us? Get it wrong, get denied, get frustrated and quit. I mean, this is what most people go through building business credit. But now that you understand how adding the accounts by navigating the tiers, by going from starter vendor to retail credit to universal credit, by navigating through that process, now you understand how you could take the same path that these large companies have to actually succeed, right? And this is where you can actually come in and go through a step-by-step system to actually succeed. Now, this is Kylan Trower, and I'm not going to read this all to you, but I'll give you an example. He went from being a gym teacher to, as he said, hey, I believe that, Credit Suisse is the best step-by-step paint-by-number system securing $50,000 to $250,000 in business credit. He's a gym teacher launching a business, and it's working for him as well, right? Amex approvals. Here's another auto approval. Was approved for this 2022 Hyundai Santa Fe through Ally. No personal guarantee, no money down. All they asked for was my driver's license. And guess what? What is she saying here? Dun & Bradstreet experience. She's mentioning the number of trade lines. She's a student. She understands the system. She understands the game is to add accounts to her business credit report. She's really good at the game, and she's adding accounts to her business credit reports, and this is the end result of that, right? Here's another approval, more approvals, 15,000 Chase Inc. Small win today, increased Amazon by $5,000. By the way, that is a small win in my world. Okay, in my world, when my students come in and get $5,000 or $10,000 approvals, those are small wins for us. because we're also getting $30,000, $50,000, $100,000 approvals, right? So just bumping the credit limit above Amazon by $5,000, here's a small win. Here's another approval with Citi for $12,000, another approval with Sunbelt for $10,000. And again, it doesn't matter what industry you're in. Okay, business credit has no restrictions on profit, nonprofit, industry. None of those things will create issues for you being able to still come in and still be able to get approved, right? Because you can see here, here's applications for a 7-Eleven card. You know, we don't even see a social security on here. We don't see authorization for a credit check. Okay, here's one for Dell, same thing. When we see these applications and we apply for corporate credit the right way, they're not even doing personal credit checks. There's no authorization here that's even mentioned. You look at the small print, there's no authorization here authorizing personal credit checks on any of these accounts. Okay, here's DaVita. Hey, walked into Sam's Club today, applied and got approved for $10K, no documents shown or anything. By the way, it's all unsecured financing. It's all no doc financing. So you never need to show income docs and you don't need collateral. Okay, quote, got approved for first vehicle last month and got approved with Ally, no PG or money down, 2022 Ford Explorer, then got finance manager as a new client. DaVita is a partner of ours. This worked so well for her, like many of our clients. She's like, I want to be a partner. I want to sell this to other people. She now offers business credit as a service. The finance manager is so blown away because he has never even seen somebody get approved for auto financing in a business name without a guarantee of credit check. The client, the person even becomes a client. She literally basically paid for her own enrollment because she got a car with no personal guarantee. The finance manager becomes an actual client. $25,000 approval here, $10,000 approval here, multiple approvals down here. The first 25s of the Federal Credit Union, right? Here's an Amex for $20,000. Here's an Amex for $9,000. Here's a approval for, I already received $50,000 credit line with Pilot Flying J, right? Okay, so here's a $12,500 and an Apple approval. Here's multiple approvals. You get the idea. So let me ask you a question. Who here is thinking that, I don't know, this is pretty awesome, that you think business credit is pretty awesome? If you don't mind, just type in yes in the chat if like you're getting what I'm saying. Like if you're starting to see, if it's starting to unlock and light bulbs are starting to come on and you're starting to go, holy crap. So you're saying I can get money without a personal guarantee, without a personal credit check. And you're saying that basically the business can fund itself because once I get initial approvals, I create a credit profile and score. Then they start to approve me based on that. Then I get more approvals and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And the more I add and the bigger it gets, the higher my limits get. What? Then the more lenders give me because the bureaus are recommending I get more. You starting to put it together? If you get it, type in yes. Mike gets it. I think, okay, now we got Brianna's got it. Jerome has got it. Okay, Nathaniel has got it. Okay, Sandra's got it. Mario's got it. Malcolm has got it. You see what's going on here? This is the whole system. It's what they don't want you to know for a reason. Because think about it. We don't want irresponsible people figuring this stuff out. Like I'm literally mapping out a system for you to understand that lenders and credit issuers are basing it all on a credit report. Once we get the initial credit reports, we get the fundability, we get ourselves in line, we start applying, we build the commercial credit report. Then other credit issuers see that, they give us money because we built it. Then it gets bigger and bigger, and our recommendation of approvals get higher and higher. Our loan amounts get higher, our credit lines get higher, our limits on the credit cards get higher. We get more and more approvals. We get credit card at every store. We get Visa, MasterCards. We are able to come in and get credit cards with airlines and with hotel companies and just about anything we want. Then we end up becoming more lendable. And that brings us to secret 3, because we are naive to think that credit cards will fund our entire endeavor. It's not going to work that way. We've got to be able to get other money, and we need loans and we need credit lines. So secret 3 is how to access the funding you want when you want it. I don't care when lenders think it's convenient to give it to me. I need it now. I want it now. And that's what I have known. I call funding on demand. It's getting the money I need when I need it. Let me give you an example. 2 examples, okay? In the last 60 days, I have secured $200,000 in credit lines. Okay, one of them, it was not too hard of a process, but it took a couple weeks to get done. Okay, the other one was 48 hours. A 48 hours, $100,000 credit line. It's because I get this. I live what I actually preach. And it works so well that at will, when we're like, oh, we're going to try some new stuff, we should probably stock up on some funding. What do we need? I don't know, $250,000 in credit lines. Let's go get them. Bam, bam, done, done. That was easy. Let's move on. That's what I want for you. But we've got to be able to figure out secret 3 to be able to do it. So when I figured this out, I improved my fundability. I started to get business credit, but I knew I needed loans. I wanted to hire people, and I couldn't use business credit to pay payroll. So what happens is I started to go out and apply for funding. And what happened was I started to realize that I was getting denied. And then I ran into an old friend of mine who was back in the business funding arena that started to introduce me to funding that was based on my own strength. You see, at this point, I started to build some revenue in the business. My credit was bad. I didn't have collateral, but I had revenue. And then I was able to turn around and get my first loan based on that revenue alone. Okay, actually, Credit Suite started with a $75,000 loan that we got as we started to actually get the revenue. Then we used it to fund it and grow the business more and more. Second loan, $325,000 SBA loan. We got there because we first understood this formula and got the money initially that we needed to get to be able to get the business launched, and then we were able to get an SBA loan. So how's this work? You need to determine your strength. Lenders boil it all down to three things they care about, okay? Once you're credible and fundable and you pass those tests, the next thing they look at, the type of lender that you're dealing with, is looking at one of three things. One, your cash flow. Does your business have money coming in consistently? Are you managing the bank accounts responsibly? Yes. Funding category unlocked. Think about this. Think about a category of funding that has 15 different types of funding products in there you could get. And it's all locked down. You feel it. You're struggling to get the money you need. And then all of a sudden you find a key and you unlock one, and that whole category, all that funding becomes available. That's what this 3C's formula is. You only need one key and you unlock one of these. You don't need the other keys. So if I have bad credit and no collateral, but I have cash flow, that unlocks a whole category of funding for me. Now, if I have bad credit, or I have good credit, but I don't have cash flow, I'm just starting my business, or I can't verify it, and I don't have collateral, that unlocks a whole category of funding. Money I can get just based on my credit or even somebody else's credit around me. The third one is collateral. So I unlock that one. Maybe I have stocks, bonds, 401ks, IRAs, equipment, inventory, e-commerce inventory. Anything I have there unlocks a category of funding as well. So if I want to start getting money, I need to be honest and say, which of these is my strength? Now, you might be saying, I don't have any of these three. I got no strengths. That's okay. We're going to talk about how to get grants and venture capital and crowdfunding and other things as well. There are other options, business credit being the best of them. But if you want to unlock lending, it really comes down to having one of these three strengths. If you don't, that's okay. We're going to build business credit, use it to fund the business till we get one of these strengths. Then we can turn around, and then we're able to be able to start opening and unlocking more and more money. Now, the next thing, we want to determine the best type of funding program out there. So in step 2, we actually want to be able to figure out, now we know what type of funding to get based on cash flow, credit, or collateral. The next is which funding program in that category works best. If I have revenue, it may be revenue lending. It may be merchant cash advance. It may be a term loan. It may be an SBA loan. It might be a line of credit, right? If I have good credit, maybe it's credit line hybrid where I can get $150,000 and no doc credit lines at 0% just because I have good credit or someone around me does and I'm using as a signer, right? So now what's happening is we're determining the best funding program. Maybe I have stocks and bonds and I want to leverage those to get money. Or maybe I have equipment. Those are different lenders that are going to offer that. So we've got to figure out now the kind of funding program we want. Then we've got to find the best lender. Now, this is called our funding matrix. You've seen my business credit matrix. I showed it on a slide earlier, and I also showed my fundability matrix. There's over 200 plus factors that lenders look at to qualify you, but it really does come back to these three types of things. Look at this. We literally went through and figured out all the factors that lenders look at, and we created a matrix. And we figured out, oh my goodness, all of them fall into three categories: collateral, asset-based lending, cash flow-based financing, credit-based financing, all of it. Once we decoded it, put it all out in front of us and said, okay, here's the whole matrix and here's everything lenders look for. We said, oh my gosh, it's three things. There's only three things they really care about, mainly to lend the money. And now you can figure out which of those three is yours, find the right funding program, and then find the right lender or work with somebody that has access to all the funding programs and lenders to be able to help you. And the step 4 is you get approved. And this is Zakia. She got $55,000 as a brand new startup business. She launched her brand new business, got $55,000 right out the back to start the business. Okay. That's how well this formula works. She doesn't even have revenue yet. And she's already gotten $55,000 in funding. And this isn't even business credit. This is on top of her business credit. These are just the credit lines that she's actually getting, right? Okay, and here's an example of this. Again, not going to read it all, but here's Somnath. And here's the thing. Somnath bought a martial arts studio from his instructor that it's now been open for 50 years, okay? He bought it 10 years ago, wanted to be able to create a second location, came to me and said, Ty, we're going to open a second location in 18 months. I said, why 18 months? He said, we're trying to save our profits to be able to launch a second location. I said, how quickly are your locations profitable? He said, we think we can get it profitable within the first year. I'm like, why wouldn't you just borrow money to do that then? He said, because we don't know how. We tried to go to our bank. We were here. They wouldn't approve us. I'm like, you've been in your business for like 40 years. They wouldn't approve you. No, ownership changed, all that. I said, okay. So we got him a credit line hybrid, for example, to start the new location. He funded it and opened the second location months later, and third location in 18 months. So he's trying to double his expansion in 18 months. And with the funding he needed in 18 months, he tripled the locations. He had 3 locations. Then COVID hit, right? We funded the opportunity for him to start launching all of the swag. I have Dragon Gym stuff I wear all the time. These guys are so grateful for what we did. Literally, my son and I just wear Dragon Gym stuff all the time because I love their merch. Okay, so now he's able to launch an online curriculum. He's on, I think, their 5th location, and they're looking to franchise right now. Man, they've had that thing for like 15 total years now under their management. For like 35 years it existed before they got it. 15 years, him and his partner Lonnie have had it, and now they tripled, they quadrupled, they 5x their locations, and they're now franchising. It's just what happens when you put money in somebody's hands. Here's Dr. Brandon, $417,000 in IRS tax liens, closing down his business. Comes to us, my bank won't help me. I've got credit issues, all these things. We get him $1.52 million. Not only does he pay off the tax lien, he opens a second location. Okay, I mentioned him earlier, and he runs for public office. I mean, the guy's living his best life from nearly failing just because he unlocked this formula. So getting business credit used to be hard, and it's just not anymore, right? And hey, this is Andre. Hey, thanks, Ty Crandall and Team Credit Suite for showing us the business credit strategies to obtain over $100,000 in access to credit in 5 days with 3 different businesses. Yeah, it works. It's why I show you so many of these real results, because these are average day people in high-risk industries, just starting businesses, bad credit, failing, and they're coming in and getting these kind of results as I did when I figured it out, and as you can as well. And that is the funding fortress. That's how you access the funding you want when you want it, or basically get funding on demand. And those are the 3, right? Now we get the fundability framework, the business credit blueprint, the funding fortunes, and we put them together, and that is when we really start to get the epitome of what we want, which is the ability to just get money at will. So let me ask you a question. It's a lot. It's overwhelming. So who would like my help? Would it be okay if I made you an offer today to help you actually through this process? Like to take something super complicated, hard to figure out, and just simplify it. If this I'm conscious of your time because it's the most valuable thing I possess. Type yes if that is okay. If it's okay if I just show you like a way that I can actually help you do this and get a better result. Okay, Lewis says yes. Says, and does this work same for lines of credit? Yes, it does, Lewis. It actually works exact same for line of credit. Jerome, Ricky, John is coming in. Okay, perfect. Because I want to be conscious of your time. Now you understand how the 3 secrets work. Let's figure out how to actually execute this and get this done easier, okay? So first of all, when you're working with us, you're actually going to get an even brand new system we have called the Fundability system, right? I'm going to physically show you how this works. But you can see this is where we get so many reviews and so many testimonials. It's all about, I mean, look, 320. This was like, I don't know, a year ago, right? Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of positive reviews, not just 5 stars. They're all saying like, these guys are the best. Like the advice is fantastic. The software works great, right? Page after page after page of all these kind of people saying, hey, this is like the best thing ever, because they went from no hope to actually getting the money they need. Because the Fundability system puts these 3 solutions in one place. Right? You're able to improve the fundability. You're able to build business credit. You're able to get the lending aspect too. So here's Kaya. Hey, Chase, Inc., 15 grand. Navy Federal Credit Union, 9 grand. Amex, no limit. Check my spending power, $10,000. Here's $10,000 MasterCard, $10,000 Sam's Club, $25,000 approval here from Navy Federal Credit Union, $10,000 Dell account. I'm not even going to count these up. Well, this person did. Iota did. She counted it up. She's got 28 approvals here using the system. Right here is Kenya. I'm not going to count these, but here's all the different approvals, right? Suma, Office Supplies, Granger. Too many to even mention. Speedway. So this is what starts to happen, right? You start to just get massive amounts of approvals when you follow the system. Now here's Marlon. Okay, and Martin says, hey, I was looking for a fast way to get money to grow my consumer credit business after failing to get approved for loans with several banks. I discovered Credit Suite, and after getting initial vendor credit accounts, I continued applying, getting all types of credit, and now have over 100 business credit cards in my wallets, totaling over $1 million in total available credit. I have fleet credit that I use for auto repairs and fuels. I have cash credit I use for major banks like Bank of America, Wells Fargo. I secured almost all this credit without a personal credit check, without a guarantee. And I've been able to get loans with many sources, including PayPal and Cabbage, with low rates and loan amounts of $100,000. By the time we're done here, you'll have seen well over 100 different examples of this thing working. And I can't get enough. $24,000 approval here. Here's a $22,000 approval. Here's a $15,000 Citi approval, $10,000 Chase, $50,000 Amex approval, right? And here's the best thing. It works for all industries. The system works for if you're a for-profit and a nonprofit. It works if you're a non-resident owner. It works for brand new startups with no revenue or entrepreneurs with challenge credit. It works if you don't have collateral, if you've been denied before. Even if you're buying a new business, its system still works. We've helped thousands and thousands and thousands of people in every single one of these scenarios still be able to get funded. So if you don't think it's going to work for you, yeah, it's going to work. It works for every single kind of business. So who this works for, it works for business credit's the only solution if you can't get lending. So if you don't have cash flow credit or collateral, it doesn't matter. Business credit's still going to work for you. So the very first thing we're going to give you is the fundability framework. Now, what we're going to do to fix that fundability is we're going to give you 24/7 access to our fundability system. We're going to help you choose the right, or make sure your business name's not high risk, choosing the right kind of entity or updating your entity to a low risk entity, getting your EIN, make sure it's set up correctly, getting the best NIAX code, knowing what industry you're in, setting up your address, your phone number, getting your listed in the directories lenders look at, getting your website set up where it's hyper professional, setting up your email address, your business license, doing a compliance check the way lenders would do it, setting up your business bank account the right way, helping you understand that you have separate bank credit scores lenders look at, how to get and control those, even helping you get a merchant account makes you look more credible. All of these things fall within that fundability foundational framework that we're going to do with you. And then you get rid of lenders not knowing what to look for, getting denied and not knowing why, or having a high-risk NIAX code, or trying to figure out how to set up a lendable business, or chasing lenders, or online congruencies getting you denied. All of these things go away just with the first fundability aspect of the system, which saves you time and money. And again, it works for every type of business and every type of industry. Now, the next thing is we put together that business credit blueprint, right? Now we're getting you set up with Dun & Bradstreet, getting you set up with Experian, getting you set up with Equifax, getting you your DUNS number with Dun & Bradstreet, your numbers with BIN, your BIN number with Experian, your file subject number with Equifax. We're helping you fix your business credit. We're helping you get starter vendors to start building the business credit profile and score. We're getting you access to the largest supply of retail credit with no personal credit check. We're getting the largest supply of fleet credit with no personal credit check or guarantee. We're helping you find a universal credit. We're helping you find auto financing, starter vendors, advanced vendors that don't report anywhere, but they'll still give you credit lines based on business credit quality. Examples, John Deere, Best Buy, Apple are in there. We help you actually understand the tiering system of when to apply for what, getting the recommended sources that you can get approved for right now, also getting underwriting guidelines for each source, payment experiences, the payment terms that they offer. All of these things are all done. Here, I'll show you. This is it. This is exactly how it's done. So the very first thing that we start with is something that's never existed before this. It's called your fundability score. You know those 125 factors I told you that lenders look at? Check this out. This actually plugs into these secret credit reports that lenders use, and it pulls your information from those reports into the system, and with your user supplied data, it's actually scoring your ability to get approved. Okay, then it's actually telling you what's wrong and why you're going to get denied. And you're able to come in and fix those things to get approved. Here, check this out. Super, 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 super cool. I mean, you can't make it any easier to get approved. Look at my fundability score. The likelihood that I'm going to be able to get approved versus denied, it's 584. Why? I'm looking at my foundation, my Fundability foundation. All these things are a go except for my business phone number. My score is 584. Check it out. I come in, I figure out what's wrong with my phone number. Here, it's telling me exactly what's wrong with my phone number. Simple. I need to fix it. I have a business phone. I have it fixed. I'm going to tell you what my phone is. I got it through Ring Central. Okay, and now I'm going to save this. Now, remember, my score was 584, and look at what this says. Hey, my Fundability score just increased to 611 is the alert I just got. So now I'm able to come in, and now that 584 went up, I'm now more fundable. I'm able to do this with every single factor lenders and credit issuers look at. I mean, this is the only technology of its kind that exists like this that actually reports into the or pulls data from the same lender reports that only lenders have access to now until right now. Now, next, let's start building business credit. And now we go into a step-by-step business credit builder that breaks down every single one of those things. We start getting starter credit. We start monitoring our business credit report with real lender credit reports right here, the same credit reports lenders use. Then we navigate through the tiers to be able to start getting approved for all these different types of accounts. The system only shows me what I can qualify for. No longer am I applying and getting denied because it's telling me every single thing that I can qualify for right now. And if I look at a system like Ford here, here's who they report to. Okay, here's the type of financing it is. Here's an overview of what they offer. Here's the actual application link. Here's their actual underwriting requirements. So here's all the things I need to know to actually get approved, and I can click apply now and apply for any of the credit. There are hundreds. Costco, HD Supply, Apple's in here, Gimpler's is in here, major credit cards, grocery stores, fuel stations. It's all, I can go on and on and on. And every one of these type of financing, creative analytics, this is your starter vendors that I'm able to start with marketing services, for example. Okay. So all of this is at my fingertips, and it's only even showing me the credit that I'm able to qualify for right now. So now I don't have to pay Dun & Bradstreet $1,500 to activate my DUNS number. I don't have to have failing business credit scores anymore. I don't have to apply for my DUNS number and never show up, or get credit that's not reporting, or not know the order of credit to apply for, or try to find which credit issuers will give me credit with no guaranteed credit check and then figure out how to get approved. I mean, that could take me an hour to 2 hours to find one source. I don't need to. It's literally at your fingertips at this point. And now we're able to stop getting denied or slowly building business credit. There's a reason that our clients get to the end of the process in 4 to 6 months. What do I mean by the end? They're done. Their business credit reports are built. They can get auto financing. They can get universal credit. They can get credit cards at will 4 to 6 months in this process. A normal client that's not using us, or a normal person that's not using us, takes 3 years to get to where our clients get to in 4 to 6 months. It saves you time. It saves you money. You don't need to spend thousands for business credit monitoring a year. Ours is like $69 to get all 3 reports, and you're actually getting lender reports. A lot of the things you're paying for, you're getting for free or discounted that you'd have to pay for if you're trying to do this on your own. But it's still not enough. We've got to be able to get to the financing part of this. And for the financing part, we work with every legitimate type of financing that exists to give you the best opportunity for funding. Let me give you an example. Lendio has 76 lenders they work for. Credit Suite has over 1,000. We take these 1,000, we plug them right into the system. I want some funding, baby. So here we go. Funding Manager tracks all the approvals we've already gotten. Okay, we're able to even track our revenue to funding ratio. We're able to see the accounts that are reporting across the 3 bureaus. And if I want funding, I simply come to funding. And here's every legitimate type of business funding in one place. It's all here. And it's all telling me what I qualify for, what I match for, and what I don't. So let me go ahead. I match for this one right here, Credit Line Hybrid. It tells me all the details about the program, interest rates, terms, everything I need to know. I'm able to come into Funding Match and see why I matched for this kind of funding. I'm able to see other things I could do to better match for the funding. And I'm even able to come right here and go to my finance specialist and chat with them, apply, and get approved. Okay, and on top of that, I'm also able to figure out why I don't qualify. I don't qualify for this. It doesn't say it's matched. Why don't I match? I like this funding program. I'm able to go to funding match, and it tells me based on my fundability what my issue is. There's a problem with my bank account. Now, here's the interesting thing. This could be a super simple fix to make that I make, and it immediately now matches me with this. Or it might say, hey, man, your bank account doesn't reflect there's enough money coming in, so that's why you don't match. But so not only does it tell me everything I can get right now, it literally lays out a blueprint of what I can get in the future and tells me exactly what I need to fix to be able to get it. So I don't have to worry about money anymore. I can literally work with like a finance strategist, come in, figure out what I can get everything I can get, figure out why I don't qualify for the other kind of funding, and know exactly what I need to do to fix it to get approved. So I eliminate getting denied because of credit issues or being a startup or not having collateral. I don't have to try to find the right loans or credit lines anymore, or find lenders that will love my industry, or getting SBA ready. All of that stuff is part of the exact same system. Saves you time and money, and even if you don't have a lendable strength, you're still able to come in and successfully build business credit. So the Fundability system actually allows you to do all of these things. And the next thing I'm going to just throw in, because I think it's helpful for you to have, is that fundability matrix, right? This helps you understand, once we figured this out, that our clients stopped getting denied. So I want you to have the matrix. I want you to see what actually lenders and credit issuers are really looking for, so you don't get frustrated because you're getting denied, right? And then I also want you to have the business credit matrix as well, because that shows you the 120 plus factors that go into building business credit. It's actually, I think, closer to 200 factors now. And then you don't get frustrated because you don't know the ins and outs of building business credit. I'm literally going to give you the stuff that we use to train our own team members on how to succeed by giving you access to the funding matrix at all. The place that we figured out what lenders are really looking for in every single factor that they look at that determines your approval. So you have more insight than 99.9% of all entrepreneurs that exist. Okay, so no more of these denials, no more of the frustration, because we're giving you access to all the matrix as well. But the next thing you've got to have is you've got to have coaching, and here's why. Okay, one of my good friends, Andrew Bustamante, is an ex-CIA agent. He has a company called Everyday Spy. You'll see him in some of the biggest podcasts in the world. And he taught me something that the CIA uses to teach their coaches that we actually use to teach our coaches internal, okay? And actually, I used to have a graph of that, but I don't have it on here. But it's basically, most people learn like this. They learn a little like this. It's like a little wavery line up to the top. The CIA does a little bit of this in the beginning, and then it's hockey stick knowledge. They gain knowledge very quickly. And here's how they do it. They basically make corrections in real time. See, normally we make a mistake, we go on the wrong road. Here's the road we want to be on. We make a mistake, we go a little off. And then the longer we're on that road, the longer we veer from where we need to be, right? I'm a pilot, I'm a sailor. I can relate to this. Like a little mismatch on my desk, on my heading, all of a sudden I'm way off course. So then it's a really long trip back to get on course. What our coaches do is stop you from making the error to begin with, or the minute you make an error, we say, whoa, no, don't do that, do this. So you veered a little off course, and then you immediately came back on course. So because you don't have these long veers off course, you're not wasting time. You're like, oh, I made a mistake, boop, correction, immediate correction. And that's why the business coaches are there, to help you expedite this, to avoid mistakes, and to make immediate corrections to mistakes when you actually make them, right? And so then the next part of that is you've got to have access to those business credit reports, because this is the data that lenders are using to make all the decisions about you. So you get their scores, you see what they're saying. Look, credit monitoring is dumb if you don't actually see what lenders see. Like pulling an online credit monitoring service doesn't help me if I'm going to get a personal car loan, because car lenders are using something called an auto industry option credit report. We're looking at different credit reports. I want to look at the same reports lenders are looking at. Then I see what they're seeing. Then I can more easily control the reports they're seeing. So then I can come in and get approved and stop dealing with these frustrations of getting denied, right? And then the last piece is you got to have a finance specialist. Literally, we have a finance strategist that works with you to help you get the funding you need. We have so many funding options that if we just gave them to you, it's overwhelming and confusing. So the finance strategist says, look, here's where you are. What do you want? What's your goal? What are you trying to do? Okay, here's the blueprint. Here's what we're going to do now. Then in a month, we're going to get you this. Then in 3 months, we're going to get you this. And in 6 months, we're going to get you this. Then they're going to follow up in 2 months and say, how you doing? How's it going? You want more money? Okay, here's the plan for the next 6 months to get you the money. They literally strategize on funding. The goal here is that you never need to look for funding again. You get stuff in the mail, throw it away. You get emails, delete them. It doesn't matter. They're all trying to sell you stuff that you can get in one place now. So you never need to be distracted trying to think, well, that credit line's appealing. Maybe it is. Go to your finance strategist. Is that appealing? They're like, whoa, that's not the right one for you. If you try to apply, you get denied. Here's a better one. Let's go down this road. That is there, so you never need to look for funding again. You stop getting denied. You stop dealing with all of that frustration. And that is what the Fundability system does. It combines all of these things to simplify the way that you improve your fundability, build your business credit, and then as a result, actually get funded. Okay, now, if all it did was just set up your business where it was credible, fundable to like lenders and credit issuers, would it be worth it? Probably so. Okay, if you could only build business credit, get an unlimited amount of business credit, like would it be worth it to have this? Yeah, I'd say yeah, right? If it only gives you access to every legitimate funding option in one place so you can get all the money you can qualify for on demand, would it be worth it? And imagine if it did any of these things, it would be worth it, let alone if it did all of these things combined. So you got a couple options. One, don't do anything. You got the training. You go on your way. Tomorrow, you're probably still going to struggle to get money. You're going to probably have problems taking action and implementing. Okay, a month from now, you might be in the same boat. 6 months from now, you're still trying to figure out, man, I saw that one webinar that one day, but I didn't take action, and now I'm still struggling where I was. Or invest in yourself. Because the reality is, like, to get started with this is a small investment compared to the massive return that you get. And again, it's the same system that's worked for 50,000 plus entrepreneurs. Right. So if it only got you $50,000 or $100,000, would it make a difference? You've seen multiple people get $250,000, $1 million, $1 million, $1.5 million, right? You see multiple people in case studies here that have secured hundreds of millions of dollars with this. If it only got you a fraction of that, 50 or 100 grand, would it be worth it? I don't know. Here's what we did. We used one business credit card that we got through the system to take our leads from about 1,000 leads a month to 8,000 leads a month. That's what we did. Okay, that's how we got to an 8-figure business. We took another business credit card at a different point in time. We found a marketing strategy that worked once we had some traction, and it took us overnight from $1 million to almost $1.5 million a month in revenue. I don't know, one business credit card did it. We found what worked. And we took advantage of the opportunity because I think success happens when opportunity meets preparation. We were prepared. We had the capital. We took advantage of the opportunity, and we 50% increase overnight with our business as we continue to grow. So it's the kind of potential of what you do with the money. Okay, so how much would you invest to get unlimited access to capital? Well, again, you've already seen that it's worth well over 23 grand, or even if we did it for 10 grand, okay, it would be a steal. But because I want to make this a no-brainer, then we've actually got multiple options for you. First of all, you can get started with Fundability for only one payment of $29.97, or you can break it down into payments of $5.97. And don't worry, if that's too much, I'm going to give you another surprise option here where it's significantly even more affordable that I'm going to actually talk to you about in just a matter of minutes. But before I do, I found the people that take action the fastest are the ones that get the best results. So for the first 20 that are getting started with us, could be today or tomorrow, we'll probably hit that limit. Then I'm actually going to give you a course that we sell for $1,000 on how to get free money from grants. Look, I tried to go out and teach our clients how to get grants, and I was shocked to see there was no information about it out there. Everything I found, every kit, every course, the stuff was so outdated. The links didn't work. It was a mess. So we literally spent a year building this course. It's how to get local grants, how to get state grants, how to get federal grants, how to get private grants. We even had list builders work for that year to build a master list of thousands and thousands and thousands of grants, and then systemize and categorize those so you'll know the ones you can get and the best ones to apply for. We even put together how to write grant proposals. Every single aspect of the process we put together in one course we sell for $997. And you get it 100% for free for the first 20 that come in. And I also think that you can go get money from angel investors, from private investors as well, from venture capitalists and angel investors, but you have to know how the system works. So we spent another year putting together a private equity course, how angel investing works, how to get it, how venture capital works, how equity crowdfunding works, how to put together a sensational pitch deck. This will actually get you the money that you need to go to angel investors and venture capitalists as well to get the funding that you need from them. And again, the first 20, I'm throwing those in as well. If you want to get all of it, it's at creditsuite.com/webinar. Don't forget, it really comes down to having those two choices. Do nothing or do something. I don't know about you, but I've only succeeded in business because I've taken action and done something, not do nothing. Do nothing is a really, really, really easy way to stay exactly where you are. And if you're not where you want to be, then I think you're seeing how I'm making this as much of a no-brainer as possible. I'm even throwing in a 30-day guarantee that we will give you your money back if we do not do exactly as we say we will do. But we have hundreds of reviews online, video testimonials, people writing written reviews. We've got hundreds and hundreds of actual results online. There's tremendous amounts of evidence that in the 10 years plus that Credit Suite has been here, that we are very good and very credible at what we do. But the real question is it worth gambling a few minutes of your time to check it out? Because even if it does half of what I've claimed it will, then it's going to pay for itself 10 times more when you start getting your initial approvals within months or even weeks into the process. So you're getting the Fundability Foundation Framework, the Business Credit Blueprint, the Financing Fortunes, the Fundability Business Credit and Funding Matrices, the Affordable Business Credit Reports, the Business Credit Coaching, the Finance Specialist, and you're also getting all of those other things, including the Fundability, the courses that we talked about as well, the Finance Strategist, the Business Reports, the Free Money from Grants course, as well as the Private Equity course as well. You can do it as one pay. You can do it monthly. And we even have a way you can finance it through a source called Credit Key. Credit Key reports your enrollment to Dun & Bradstreet. So you actually build business credit just by buying with us. It's only $282 a month. And we've got another financing source. We have 3 that will finance it for you. One of them has no credit requirements. The only way you would get denied is if you're negative in your bank account. If you are not negative in your bank account, but even close, you will get approved. They approve everybody, and they'll finance it over a longer period of time, making the payments even cheaper than this. Truth. You can get it even cheaper than this with that financing source as well. So you get a huge discount if you do one pay. Okay, you can also come in and finance it through us, where we'll finance it for you. And we've got multiple sources that will finance it for you as well, one of which even gives you your first account on Dun & Bradstreet. Pretty cool. Go to creditsuite.com/webinar to check it out. And I'm hanging out right now to answer any and all questions that you may have. So if you have questions, type them into the chat. Keep in mind, you don't need to come in and type in the question multiple times. I've got a lot of people here on live streams from LinkedIn, from YouTube, from Facebook. I've got a webinar going on as well. I've got a Q&A. I've got a webinar chat. I'm going to get to all of it, but type it in once, and I've got to navigate through 3 different chats to get there. So just keep that in mind. Premium coaching for new tax pros. I appreciate you coming in. Aubrey was here from BDI International Enterprises. Thank you for coming in as well. Yvonne was from Queens, New York. You're my favorite credit guru. I love you, Yvonne. Thank you. James from Houston is in the house as well. Okay. African Holistic Health Chapter of New York. Thanks for coming in. All right. So I'm going to get some questions from St. Louis was in here. Hey, Interstate Private Police Protective Services. I love that as well. Ty, can you make a video going over the Bureau Insights? We do have that. And if you email info@creditsuite.com, we will show you a little bit more about Bureau Insights as well. Okay. Can't wait for the pre-launch party. Mike, we are going to release Fundability to be in our partners' hands on Friday. So if you are a partner that is offering business credit through Credit Suite, we are doing a pre-release party for the first time ever on Friday to talk about and be able to give you the ability to be able to sell Fundability. So Mike, I'm pretty excited. I'm really excited for that as well. Okay, is there something that you're supposed to be on the screen? Okay, hopefully that got fixed. Hi, screen stuck. Okay, hopefully we got that fixed. Thanks for bearing with us. Yep, I see now. Okay, perfect. Great. Stuck again. Hopefully you all could see the screen. If not, hopefully that got resolved because there was nothing I was able to do about that. Okay, so let's go to Q&A. What's the lowest personal credit score to have in order to qualify? There is no credit score requirements. The bottom line is with business credit, they will not look at your personal credit reports. It will not be looked at. We're building business credit without them looking at personal credit reports, so it's not even looked at when it comes down to it. Does my credit utilization doesn't matter either. Keep in mind, they're not looking at your personal credit reports. So utilization, credit score, credit quality, none of that stuff matters. How long does the process take from application to funding? Business credit, it's pretty much immediate. Meaning once we improve your fundability, you are able to build business credit and you are able to get your first approvals pretty much immediately. And then you'll get those will report in 30 days, and then you can go on and get more and more and more approvals. Is the credit funding a mix of credit cards, loans? It's the funding part. Here, everybody classifies it differently. There's no right or wrong way. I'll tell you my own lingo, not to say it's the lingo. I look at business credit separate as like business lending. And I categorize it as business lending, business funding, business financing. I put all that stuff over here, and business credit's here. Business credit, no personal guarantee, no credit check. Everybody can get it. It's over here. Business funding are loans and credit lines. That's how I categorize it. These are all loans and credit lines. I separate those two and say there's loans and credit lines, and there's business credit, which is credit cards. That's how I personally like to separate it. Hopefully that helps you there. And do I apply for business credit, or will Credit Suite apply for the business credit on my behalf? So you're going to apply, but it's super simple. And the reason for that is that you are the only one that will know the credit that you want, right? Like you don't want to like hire me to just randomly go get a bunch of credit on your behalf. You only want the credit you want to grow your business. I'll give you an example. You might be an over-the-road trucker, so you don't probably care about Office Depot. Or you could be a credit repair company, and if you're a credit repair company, you probably don't care about a Shell credit card, right? So everybody has a different need based on your industry and what you're doing. So you're going to apply for your own credit, but you see how simple Fundability is. Here, find the credit you want. Oh, you want that one? Okay, here you go. Click apply, and you literally, here, I'll actually show you. This is actually pretty cool. I'm going to show you how easy we've made it. So let me go in here and let me get some business credit, okay? I'm actually going to come right up here. Let's go to the business credit builder right here, and I'm going to come in here. I'm going to get some accounts. Okay, so let's say that I want to get, I don't know, so many choices. What do I want to get here? I don't know, let's say Northern Tools. Looks good. Northern Tool, apply now. Check this out. Now, I don't know if Northern Tool is going to have an easy application page that pulls up right away or not, but we can see here that it says, okay, apply now. Now, check this out. I now come back in, right? And when it asks for, like, let's say it's my business name, I come to Funding Manager. I literally copy, one click, copy, and then I come in and I paste. So a lot of the stuff you need on the applications, I can literally come into Fundability and copy it. My city, my state, my address, my EIN, copy. And then I just paste it to the application. It's that simple. I mean, we can't make it any easier to go through this on your own because it literally is a process of copy and paste. And I want to leave your application. And then the copy and paste is how easy it really is for you to get approved. So hopefully that answers all of your questions. Okay. Do partners have access to this for our clients, and will clients receive this if they join now? So the simple answer is, and for those that don't know, Credit Suite has a partner program, and our partner program is where you enroll for like a little bit more money than this. You become a partner, and we give you all the training, the back office, the marketing assets, everything you need to sell business credit and financing in this space. So Fundability, the system, every reason so many people are asking this question is because Fundability is a brand new system. We just released it the middle of last year. Now it's out of beta. We've made the improvements. We've had hundreds and hundreds of people through it. It's good. It's in good shape. Now we start building Fundability to be in our partners' hands. So what's happening is partners are coming in the chat and saying, what the heck, man, this thing is awesome. I want to sell this thing. When am I going to? The short answer is on Friday. We are doing our first ever partner pre-release party on Friday. And if you would like, you can call this number right here. You can email us info@creditsuite.com, or just call your account executive and tell them, I want in on this Fundability thing. Friday, we will take the first group of partners and enter them into the beta. And so somewhere within the next 30 days, those partners in beta will have the ability to sell Fundability to the world. So to answer your question, yeah, partners don't have access now. We will first start getting our first beta group together on Friday. You'll want to be at the pre-release party to be into that beta. It's at 1 to 3 o'clock on Friday. Of course, 100% free event for our partners to attend. And then within a month or less, you will have the ability to actually be out there and start selling Fundability. So that's exactly how that will work. Okay, I would love to be able to have this tool. Do we have this tool for our own clients' credit building partner? We already answered. A lot of people ask the same question, right? So the answer is yes. I just answered that. Okay, do you have to keep buying equipment from Net30 accounts in order to keep it active? I like this question. So the question here basically is, do I have to keep using these vendors to get credit for all my business credit reports? The short answer is that everything used within 12 months will calculate into your business credit scores. I tell clients to use credit every 6 months just to be safe, but as long as you use your credit every 12 months or less, then that means that you will be getting credit for that into your actual business credit scores. I'm going to pull up the chat here just so you guys don't think I'm just making stuff up, right? Dallas, Texas in the house. Kansas City's in the house. Greetings, John. Hello. I don't like when I'm on webinars and everybody's like, hey, man, he said yes. John said yes. Tom said yes. You can see this is all happening. Mario, what's up, man? Thanks for coming. Oh, what? Nick and Clay's Lemonades? Well, that sounds like an awesome company. I love that. Tori, everybody, thank you very much for coming in. Thank you all very, very much. Okay, once you get a trade line net accounts, do you want to continue to pay? We did talk about that. I answered that question. On Fundability, I'm already with Fundability. Impressed so far. Sandra, thanks for tuning in and thanks for being a client. Love working with you. Very good and impressive. Will the recording be sent? Yes. If you attended the webinar, you will get a copy of the recordings. I know where you. Okay, that's nice. John says, hey, you give me $978,000. $970. I don't even know what that number is. It's like a gazillion dollars. I do not think $2 as a bonus is very good. And that's all that's going on in the webinar chat. So I don't really have a lot of other questions going on here. I want to check the social channels. I think I am good again. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. So what are the next steps? Keep in mind, the first 20 that enroll are getting all of the 3 matrices. We're giving you the actual financing support as well. You're getting the business credit advisor. You're getting the bonuses of the venture capital course, and you're getting the grants course. Those alone are $1,000 a piece. Okay, so all that's being done for the first 20 that enroll. All you have to do is go to creditsuite.com/webinar. When you are at creditsuite.com/webinar, you will see right there that you will see the credit key, and you will see that what we are offering with the bonuses, even if we didn't get our first 20, which we would, you'll see the time frame on that when that goes away. You'll see that you can come in and enroll with us on the monthly payment. I think we even discounted that for you. You can see the 1% one payment here at a 30% discount. You can also apply for credit key, get the low payments here. And you can also talk to our team right here at the Sunbird. We can actually get you approved even if you don't get approved for credit key. We have other sources that will approve you. And again, one of them approves everybody as long as you're not negative in the bank account. It shows you everything you get. And you're able to get the equity course and the business credit secrets right here. And I can literally come in here and get started. All I have to do is enter my email to move to the next page and get through and get started. Or I can come through and apply right now for credit key. It's literally that simple. And even if you come to this page and you're not sure, give us a call and we can talk through your own individual scenario. We can talk about the kind of credit you can get, the type of funding you can get. We can better set expectations for your individual scenario. So feel free to give us a call on that as well. Okay, so that being said, I am going to wrap this up. You can give us a call to talk more. Right here's our phone number. Go to creditsuite.com/webinar. All I can say is you've seen a lot of case studies and a lot of success. We've even got people in the chat that say, hey, I'm a partner. A lot of our partners are here. You've seen a lot of people in the chat say, hey, look, I'm impressed. I'm using this thing already. So I can't give you more evidence than what I had that this is super effective. The question now really comes, do you think that getting the money you need to grow your business is a game changer or not? If it is, let's be honest, you've never seen anything like this because it doesn't exist. We literally created it, and it's a way to set your business up for success and become fundable. Get automated approvals, get the lenders to chase you, step-by-step build the business credit, and give you access to all financing in one place with a business credit coach and advisor that coaches you through the entire process and a finance strategist that maps out the entire blueprint of what you need for funding from now and into the future. Give you everything you need to successfully be able to get the money now and into the future you need. Set up your business for success to get SBA loans, 80 paydex scores, all the things that go with it. So if you have any questions, I'm not done. Give us a call, 877-600-2487. We'll be able to answer those questions or get started at creditsuite.com/webinar. I look forward to seeing you on the other side. And I look forward to seeing a lot of the partners we have here on Friday when we put Fundability. We start the process putting this in your hands so you can get this out to your clients as well and be able to make a very lucrative, or you already know you're earning a lucrative income stream, be able to further your lucrative income stream of offering business credit lending as well. So thanks everybody for tuning in. Go to creditsuite.com/webinar or give us a call at 877-600-2487. Take care.